Greetings and welcome back to the Fake Grand Order News Update. So it's been a while and we just had to deal with the 2019 Valentine's High Difficulty Quest. I gotta tell you, it took me a few tries, but in the end I was able to go through it with just using the command seals to resurrect everybody and launch noble phantasms, which was a pretty nice accomplishment for myself. However, we are not here talking about that. We are here talking about the announcement of the Shinjuku Pseudo-singularity chapter release. And with it, we're obviously going to get new servants, only one new craft essence, unfortunately. And I'm not going to go over through the story. However, because the wiki that we look at the servants on lists their true name, it might involve some slight story spoilers. So, you have been warned. So, without further ado, let's go in and see what this is about, shall we? Now, Shinjuku campaign, it's called, the official site on Facebook is calling it a pseudo-singularity. Not sure what's going to be like that. But anyway, as you can see, we're going to get 3 brand new servants: Archer of Shinjuku, Assassin of Shinjuku, and Avenger of Shinjuku. This is the, let's see, Avenger. First we had Angraminyu, then Gene Alter, then Gorgon, and then we also have Inland Dante. So this is the 5th Avenger in the game. And it is another 4-star, which is nice. Unfortunately, I have yet to pull a single Avenger in the game. So we're going to go take a look at them out as well. However, that is not the only thing that is happening during this chapter. We also get this simple 3-star card sense, 25% critical damage for quick card attacks. That's actually relatively relevant because all of these 3 servants have skills that have them require or help them gather critical stars. So let's go over here and see what we have. Now, one of the most important things is this, the bond point bonus. All evil aligned servants will get plus 100% bond point experience points when clearing main quests. This is super nice if you are still trying to get bond points for all of them. So yeah, definitely put them on your back row as support servants if you haven't been leveling up their ranks already, especially those of Gene families might want to focus on this as well. I'm going to be focusing on X Alter right here because I managed to get her. But anyway, that's not it. Then we go into the summoning campaign, which are really cool. So let's go. We're going to start with the Archer of Shinjuku, which is the 5-star servant. So it is right over here. So get ready for story spoilers, slightly. So yes, James Moriarty. This is Sherlock Holmes' super arch nemesis, at least from what I understand. And he isn't actually a lord like I thought he would be, like Sherlock himself. He's a archer. But what is this? Well, he's also an arts archer, which is very interesting. That he is, I think, the 4th arts-based archer that we have that's actually useful. The other 3 being Ariale, Chloe, and I think David, maybe? You might count Emilia in there, but I don't really count it. So let's take a look at his abilities. First, ignore invincibility 1 turn, that is always useful. Increase own critical star absorption for 1 turn. The star absorption is very, very nice. And you're going to see why because of the 2nd skill. Can only be used when there are 10 critical stars or more. It charges on MP crush by 30 to 50%, that's actually very nice. Increases on MP damage by 20%, very nice. But requires 10 critical stars. This reminds me a lot of what they started doing in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, where you had to use your limit break bar to use certain abilities. But here, critical stars is not something we tend to worry about, but maybe this might change the meta a little bit. Then 3rd skill, Charisma of Wicked Wisdom. Increases party's attack for 3 turns by the standard amount. Further increase the attack of evil alignment LS except himself for 3 turns. So this is very similar to Elizabeth and Tamamo Summer skills in that Elizabeth increases the attack power of female servants by another percentage. Tamamo Summer increases, I think, the males by another percentage. And here we have one that focuses on evil servants. So they are basically telling you to use a bunch of evil servants during this chapter for some odd reason. But very interesting. So you can get a total of 40% attack power on your evil servants if you act them as a support. Now let's get to the very juicy stuff. Independent action on Demon of Resistance, pretty standard stuff, but here we go. Noble Phantasm. Deals damage to 1 enemy, 600. Pretty pathetic damage if I do say so myself. It is a buster style, so he can't even do a full arts chain by himself. Reduces their defense by 3 turns, so that's actually very decent. Unfortunately, most people only have it at level 1, so 10% lower defense. Not sure how powerful that is yet. So as a archer, he's more of a supporty archer when you think about it. He helps you gather stars, and when he is called upon, he can ignore invincibility and then use the stars to finish off his MP. And very interesting character. I'm not sure I'd try to pull for him if I was a fan of him, but being an arts archer and putting him in an arts-based team might make him work very nicely. Now let's go look at the, what was it, the assassin of Shinjuku? Yes, here we go, a new assassin, 4-star. Another quick-based assassin, pretty much standard for assassins these days. So let's see, first skill, increase on critical star absorption for 1 turn. Increase of MP generation rate for 1 turn. Okay, so this is basically gather stars, and then once you get, when he's got 2 or 3 cards on the board, you use this, he's guaranteed criticals, and then because of that, his MP gets charged up very, very quickly. Then, let's see, second skill, increase on critical star generation rate for 3 turns. Okay, so even more. So during that turn that he's doing all the work, he's also generating critical stars for next turn, and it gets a rank up, which increases quick performance, increase on critical damage. Very nice. So at max level, 30% quick, very nice. 30% critical damage, nice. Okay, so this is a very nice skill right here if you compare him with characters that can generate a lot of critical stars. And let's see, reduces uncritical absorption by 100% for 1 turn, and oh, this is very interesting. So him and Moriarty can actually work very nicely with each other. So you start off the battle, and if you get a quick chain with him, you generate a lot of critical stars by using this and this, and then on your next turn you use this because he'll probably not have any cards there. He sacrifices any stars that would go to him to other people, hopefully Moriarty and all that other good stuff. So a very interesting assassin that actually shares the critical stars he generates. Now let's see, his No Phantasm. Anti-unit quick, 1200% damage, okay, reduces their critical damage per 3 turns. Right. So that is actually quite a bit of damage percentage right there. Let's see, maximum attack value is 8,000, so pretty much standard for a 4-star. So that is a pretty interesting one, although reduced critical damage is kind of iffy. Personally, I don't usually rely on that for anything. Chloe does it as well, but I don't think it's ever been useful at all. So other than that, I don't think there's anything special about him. Oh yeah, this, a new ascension material, magic cerebrospinal fluid. Right. Anyway, on to the final one, the Avenger of Shinjuku. Okay, let's see. So we have a headless horseman riding a wolf. Not really sure what that means, but anyway, let's take a look at his skills. Demon the Phalange A+, increase on critical star absorption for 1 turn, increase on defense for 1 turn. Okay, so he can eat up a lot of critical stars. Second skill, increases own attack by 10 to 30%. Okay, pretty selfish, but pretty strong. Reduces one enemy's instant kill resistance for 1 turn. Okay, you know what that means. Reduces their attack for 1 turn and removes their buffs. Removing their buffs is actually one of the most powerful abilities in the game because it means you no longer rely on servants that have ignore invincibility, and you can just, oh, you're invincible, not anymore, or all their special buffs that they start stacking, you can erase them. He is an Avenger, so he does charge his own MP every turn, which is nice. Critical damage and reduces party debuff resistance by 10%, and increases own MP regeneration when taking damage, okay? Now let's see, Noble Phantasm. Freyren Sha, well, I'm not gonna even try. Execution of the Faraway One. Anti-unit quick, ignores the evasion for 1 turn. Okay, deals damage to one enemy with very high percentage. And chance to instant kill them. Okay. So in case you don't know, instant death happens like this. First, you have your own chance of basically the death proccing. And then once it procs, then the enemy, whoever you targeted, then has this. This means what percentage they have of actually being instantly killed. So once your instant death actually procs, then you roll this number right here, which is why you have this right here. This reduces it by 30 to 50. So if he used it on himself per se at rank 1, he would have a 40% chance of being instantly killed if your instant kill ability triggered. So he is a pretty nice support for Hassan of the Old Man of the Mountain. So pretty interesting. Avenger here, he's based on instant killing, which is interesting. Let's see. Nope, he does not get any hit, but he is a pretty cool wolf, so yeah. There we go, that's the one you want to use. So yeah, when it comes to servants, these are 3 very interesting servants. Not completely overpowered or game-breaking, but definitely very interesting, especially considering that they all rely on critical stars from what we've gathered, or help generate a large amount of critical stars. So all 3 of them together on one team could be a very interesting front line for you to use. Now, outside of that, are we getting anything else? We have already gone over through the bond points. bonus that they'll get, and... Oh yeah, there is one more thing that I forgot to mention. Let's see... Summoning campaign. I know... Where are you? Shinjuku storyline? Who haven't started... No, that's that. But there is one more servant that will appear throughout the story. That once you beat it, you will be able to summon. Where? Here you go, Emilia Alter. 4-star archer as well, except this one is using guns. Interesting, and he looks pretty angry. Huh, interesting. He's standing in the Unlimited Blade Works scenario. Very interesting. Let's take a look at this guy. Increases own defense for 3 attacks and 5 turns. Interesting. Reduces own damage taken for 3 attacks. Wow, okay then. So increase defense and then reduce the damage taken. That is actually very, very interesting. Second skill. Increases everything as the original Emilia should have been. So pretty much the same skill. And third skill. Increase own attack for 3 times 5 turns. Very interesting. So basically you do not waste a single buff on this guy. Or either offense or defensive. Because they only trigger when he attacks or when he takes an attack. Interesting. Let's see. Independent action. Demon resistance. Whatever. Let's see. Unlimited Lost Works. Void Creation of Swords. Anti-unit arts. Interesting. Yes, okay, you can do a full arch chain with them. 900, chance to reduce their MP gauge by 1. Okay, so not guaranteed, but pretty interesting. But then it gets a rank up, and then, what is it? Deals damage that ignores defense buffs. Okay. The damage goes up after his rank up quest, which is good, and the drain chance goes up significantly by 20%-ish. So as an archer, he's very interesting. Not sure how he works because I haven't actually seen him on any videos I've seen on the internet, but he did appear in one of the OVAs that was, I think, Moonlit Room. He appeared there. But yeah, interesting archer. So once you beat the Shinjuku chapter, you'll be able to summon them in case you actually do want them. So these are the 4 servants we're getting right now, and well, at the beginning and once you finish up the chapter. Now the other thing is that by the end of March, so 1 month approximately after you finish off Shinjuku, we are going to get the second Gura Gura event for not Nobunaga this time. We're going to get the rerun of hers, but after that we're going to get a brand new event. So look forward to that. So there you go. Shinjuku chapter, probably going to be a very interesting story because we might be villains, considering what Moriarty and the others do. We might be villains in the story, and yeah, looking forward to it. So we will see you next time.